Hey Tish, this is your reading. So what I'm going to start with is the reading for both of you. Your question had to do with kind of the day-to-day going about our business, life kind of, the little things kind of getting in the way of the joy and happiness of a long-term relationship between you and your partner. So what we're going to do is it's called the mirrored heart reading, or mirrored heart spread. It requires 2 decks. So for David, I think it was David, I'm going to use the Thoth deck, and for you I'm going to use the Morgan Greer deck, okay? And basically it mirrors how you're doing in the situation versus how David is doing, okay? All right, so I'm first going to shuffle David. I'm going to set his side of the heart. Basically it forms a heart. And I'll explain what each of the positions mean as I go over them. What's the energy for David and Tish and David, at this point in their relationship? Tish we've got as a Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Ascendant Cancer, and we've got David as a Gemini Sun, Cancer Moon, Ascendant Cancer. So double Cancer, 1 Gemini, double Gemini, 1 Cancer. I'm wondering if, because the moon, your moon's in Libra and his is in Cancer, if you're thinking more than feeling and he's feeling more than thinking, and maybe you're bumping heads there. Everything else is so harmonious though for you guys. I didn't find out where your Venus was placed, but you know that, and I'm sure you'll be able to figure out how the cards relate to that. One more. All right, so for David, relationship with Tish, long-term relationship. Hi, Spirit, please give us guidance for his place in all of this. Show us his feelings, his ideals, what he wants for the relationship, what he's doing in the relationship at the moment. All right. His is position 1 here, heart of the matter, or heart of the relationship. Let's get these out of the way. And this is position 2, the highest ideal for the relationship. Again, this is David. This is the self that he is showing you in the relationship. This is position 3. This is actually where they are emotionally and mentally. So this is what he's showing, and this is what he's actually feeling. And right here, this position is what he needs from you. Okay? And yours are going to basically be the same. So we'll put this amethyst right in the center of your heart. This is for Tish, Spirit, Hecate, Cosmic Soul. Please provide guidance for Tish and her place in this long-term relationship with David. Where are things as they stand now? Communicate to us what Tish is feeling, what Tish is expressing to David, and what she needs from the relationship. And we'll see how they meet up. And Tish, just to let you know, I've got oracle cards and 2 types of runes to clarify if we need to. One more here. One good thing about both of your Cancer placements, Venus being in Cancer right now, that's a nice placement. Comfy, home, kind of conducive for relationships. And with this this eclipse, this partial lunar eclipse at 15 degrees Aquarius on Monday the 7th, maybe you guys should try to make a date that night, because it is a great night for relating. There's a lovely harmonious trine between the moon and Jupiter in Libra, so good for relationships. Maybe a good time to clear the air on some things or just get all mushy and lovey. All right, tell us about Tish. What is Tish? What's her part in this relation with David? Okay, thank you. So Tish, this is first position for you. This is the heart of the relationship from your perspective. Okay. Up here, this is your highest ideal. It's supposed to form a heart, but I'm running out of table. This is your highest ideal for the relationship. This is what you're projecting to David. This is actually where you are. And this is what you need from David. And there's the heart. So this is called the mirrored heart spread. New to me. So that's why I'm double checking everything. Okay, so let's start with you. Okay, so this first position here is to you the heart of the relationship, the core values of the relationship. Let's see what you got. So you got the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This is the Capricorn card, and it's upright. Okay. In reverse, it tends to be the lower octave of Capricorn. So this is things like penny wise, pound foolish, that saying. This is being, because of concerns over security, there might be a willingness to act in a way that you yourself don't even think is of a higher octave. There might be to maintain security, there might be a willingness to throw someone else under the bus. I'm not having a go here. I'm just letting you know what that card is. So this is either what you're picking up from the relationship right now, or this is what's happened. It could also mean that there may have been either a Capricorn energy as it has to do with the relationship, or a negative aspect of a Capricorn is impacting the relationship. Okay, so it could be a family member. If there was a third party somewhere in the relationship, this could have been that person. And this seems to be what is at the heart of this question from you right now. Okay, now this is your high ideal. So you believe that this relationship is definitely worth fighting for. That's the Valor card, 7 of Wands. This is you standing your ground, and rightly so. You believe what you believe. It's your reality. You believe that this relationship is worth fighting for. I think you've said you've invested a lot of time and you feel like you're very much a part of each other. Like two parts of a whole, I think you said, something like that. So this would indicate that you are willing to stand up and fight, even if you're tired, even if you don't always get to win each situation, even if not everyone's acting perfectly, you or him. This is definitely worth fighting for. Okay, now this is the face you're showing to David. You're showing your Cancer energy. So it's interesting, you have the low octave of Capricorn, right, as it being something that's at the heart of the relationship that's impacting it, but you're showing the high octave of Cancer, your ascendant, which is nurturing, mothering, and this could be actually what you're feeling. We'll find out more about that in a moment, but you're showing a loving, nurturing, mothering type of figure, someone who's full of compassion. There could be a duplicitousness to it. There could be like not bad lies, but maybe white lies. Maybe you're saying some things are okay when they're really not. It's kind of like when your friend says, "How do I look in this outfit?" and you say, "Oh, you look great," and it's a white lie. You really don't look at an outfit, that kind of thing. It's that kind. That could be on the negative side what this could be, but you got this in the high octave. You got this upright. So as far as I can see, what you're showing in the relationship is nothing but love and compassion. Okay, so that's good. Now this next position. So regardless of what you're showing, this is actually what's going on with you. Oh no. Have you been contemplating walking away? You got the 8 of Cups. In the Thoth deck, this would be indolence, like being fatigued after it not being great. I don't know if if there have been some troubles for a while that are leaving you both tired. But on your mind right now, it looks like at least a portion of your mind has thought of releasing it and letting it go and moving on. Okay? And this is what you need from David. Ace. You need some new energy. You need some indication, some communication from him that he's willing to do the work. That's what I'm thinking. You need him to step up and say, this is what I need, this is what I want. There's more Gemini in you, and particularly with the moon, it's relevant here. You know, ruled by Mercury, you probably, as it relates to interpersonal relationships, you probably are a little bit better about being direct in your communication and being more communicative. And it looks like you're needing this from him. You need something from him in the way of a sign that he's willing to fight like you are. But you've considered leaving. I don't know what this is here. I don't want to get into your business too much. I'm sure, or hopefully this is meaning something to you. So I won't clarify this because this is your personal business. But if this is another party that's impacting the relationship, or this is either him or you together, again, it isn't necessarily just one person. This is the heart of the relationship as a total. So this lower octave of Capricorn here could be something that you both are doing in the relationship that's causing problems right now. And it could be why you've contemplated walking away. You know you're still willing to fight. You know you're putting the effort in the way of compassion and love and nurturing him, right? But you contemplated walking away. It's worth the fight, but it's not that you haven't thought of doing this, okay? And you need something from him, and I think it means you need something that says, I'm going to put the work in. But we'll move on from here. Okay, so this is David now. David's cards are here, his half of the heart. And here again, this is, from his perspective, this is the heart of the relationship. That's funny. He got the Valor card in reverse. So he got the Seven of Wands in reverse. So this is Mars in Leo, but the downside of that energy, the lower octave of that energy. And the higher octave of that energy, this is two fire signs working together for a positive aspect, and that energizes the situation. So again, your high ideals of it is that it's worth fighting for, and that's using the high octave. For whatever reason, both of you, when you're looking at the heart of the relationship, you both have negative cards. You both are seeing things badly. So where you have what's worth fighting for, the high octave of Mars and Leo, which interestingly enough is the placement right now, I'm sure you know, he has the low octave. The heart of the problem being, the heart of the matter being something, and I would have to say it's the low octave of those planetary and constellation energies. The low octave of Mars is a totalitarian tyrant. A tyrant, someone who has to have their way all the time. And of course the low octave of Leo is it's all about me, and I will destroy those that, you know, make it not about me. It is definitely all about me and my needs, and Mars is the bloodier side of that. So it's like those two, the bad attitude of Leo with the bloodier side of Mars is it's my way or the highway. It's all about me. If you're not on board, fuck you, and I'm going to do some damage. Okay? So either that's how he feels that he has been in the relationship, or that's how he sees the relationship as it from his perspective. Now his high ideal is the Fool. That's interesting. So his ideal, the relationship, is the Fool. Now I never see the, I hope you don't, I see the Fool as a positive card. It looks like he sees this as being, the Fool is like the soul incarnate. It's a brand new day. It's someone entering an endeavor for the first time. So he kind of sees this relationship on a high octave of the Fool as being, and this is his high ideal of the relationship, as being something that's supposed to be fun. And he sees it as being joyous and fun and always learning and taking new steps. That's what he wants this relationship to be. That's what he's hoping for. And you're hoping for, I think you're hoping that he's finding it worth fighting for, finding you worth fighting for. Whereas he already sees the relationship as fantastic. Let's go on further. This is what he's showing to you. So he got works. This is the 3 of discs, but he got it in reverse. This is Mars in Capricorn. And Mars and Capricorn are a good combination. It's the sort of solidity of Capricorn, but Mars adds a little bit of fire to it to make things move. But it's the low octave, so it could be a situation where he's not showing as to you. In other words, this is what he's showing to you. He is giving you some indication that he's not putting a lot of effort into it. He's not putting a lot of effort into, I would guess, based so far on what I see, I would guess that you feel that he doesn't prioritize the relationship in the same way that you do. Somebody feels that way. Here we're looking at where he at. So this is what he's showing to you. This is what you're seeing from him, and this is actually what he's showing, that he's, and there could be a lot of reasons he's doing this. It could be insecurity that's making him go, oh, I'm going to pretend like I don't care, you know. But again, obviously you need him to communicate to you. You won't know what it is unless he comes forward with it. This is actually where he is. Swiftness. That's interesting. You both got 8s of opposite elements. You were 8 of Cups here. This is actually where your head really is. And his head is right here. So this is Mercury in Sagittarius, right? This is the Swiftness card. This is normally in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, all those rods flying through the air. So it usually means messages. So he really is, I don't know that it's about communicating. Yeah, actually it's Mercury in Sagittarius. So yeah, he is actually seeking some kind of truth here, although you wouldn't, it looks like from your perspective he's not seeing it. You're not seeing it. But he does. In actuality, he actually wants to communicate, and he wants to take action. So this is actually where he is, regardless of what he's showing you. And this is actually where you are, regardless of what you're showing him. Looks like you're on your last leg, maybe. And the reason may be that it's the way he's prioritizing it, or the way it appears to you that he is prioritizing it. Lastly, this is what he needs from you. The Devil. Okay. So this is the Saturn card. I think this is kind of interesting. You both look like you're wanting the other party to do some work. He got 2 major arcana cards, which is very interesting. This means that this situation is impacting him hugely. This relationship, and this, particularly this pivotal point in this relationship, is really impacting him. So there's some growth he's going to be getting from whatever this is that you're going through. So what he needs from you is your willingness to perhaps not be, he wants to meet you here, but you're looking at it from 2 different perspectives. And that's not really that surprising, a thinker and a feeler. So you're wanting communication, right? But you may not specify what kind of communication. It could be that flighty Mercurian energy where it's like, just say something, you know, just tell me something, or say something, or do something. It may not, you may not be clarifying exactly what you need him to say or to do. Capricorn here, this is the Capricorn card. This is Saturn, the Devil card. He needs from you to get concrete about what you want to do. So I think what we're looking at here, honestly, is a communication issue. So it's really going to have to be one of those things that people make fun of all the time, but you sit here and you do this in this kind of counselor language. Okay, David, this is what I'm feeling. I need to get communication from you about how you feel about the relationship. Where do you prioritize it? Is it important to you? Because this is how I'm feeling. And he's got to sit there. Well, I can appreciate, those things we make fun of. Well, I can appreciate how you're feeling, and that's okay. This is how I feel. Because it looks like he needs you to give some concrete, not just communicate, not just, but I think he needs a combination of the verbalization of how you feel, and surprisingly, an expression of how you feel. Although that's surprising, you've certainly been showing him emotions and care, but again, it's what you're showing him, and maybe he's seeing through that. Maybe he's seeing through the fact that you might have been thinking about this. I'm not saying it's tattling on you. I mean, anytime there's trouble in a relationship, everybody will have thought about this at some time. So not everyone is going to always be thinking that everything's perfect all the time. Obviously, this is where he is, this is where you are, both. This is what he's showing, right? So I believe since you both got 8s, those are harmonious numbers. They're power numbers in terms of where you really are, because that's what we need to look at, not what we're showing, but where we really are. And you're showing you're tired of this fight. And he sees part of the relationship as a fight as well. And this is what he wants from the relationship. New, happy joyousness. And what you seem to want is communication, that he's willing to fight to make it work. And ultimately, it's a woman-man thing, but also we all are looking for the same thing, which is the security of the relationship and that we still love each other. We still feel the same way about each other. And for this is going to require communication. And he's ready to do it. I think it's going to be a situation where you both have to be like, okay, here's our date. And maybe that Monday night, the 7th, would be a great night to do it. Honestly. There's great energy for interrelationships. That should be a really good time for you to hear each other out fully without ego getting in the way, right? But here we are, what we need from each other. You need to know something from him. You need him to say something or do something, communicate something to you, and he needs to see from you that you're willing to work on something. This is actually like, sorry to be crude, but this is a dick and balls, basically, with a goat. And in those balls, I'm sure you've seen the Thoth card before, so I'm probably pointing this out to you, but there are chromosomes and what look to be little gals and guys made of sperm. It's very, very trippy cards, Frida Harris. But really, ultimately, just like with Capricorn, what it's about is working to create something and hone something and perfect something, right? That's Saturn energy. Perfect something, make it to its most efficient, hone it down to its bare bones, but to its truest beauty, its truth. And he needs to see, I think for his stability, he needs to see concrete actions, perhaps, or results. And you need to just hear some communication. And maybe once you both have this communication, we can find out and be honest, really be honest, why this is the feeling you're getting and why this is the feeling he's getting. He's getting some kind of a feeling that the relationship has a tyrannical feeling to it, and you're feeling as though it's duplicitous, as though there's some kind of insincerity or untruthfulness, dishonesty in the relationship, or even maybe a little bit of weakness. And by weakness, I mean weakness of spirit. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, I hope this makes sense, Tish. So this is for both of you. Now, I told you I was going to do one for you alone, so I hope this made sense. If you have questions on this, how to get a hold of me. Now I'm going to do a pull for you. This is another spread. I wanted to try to do a new spread for you. This is the Night Sun Tarot, which is Thoth-based, but kind of like gothy looking. I'm kind of like into that. So here's the one I wanted to do for you. So here's this is a relationship spread for one person. It's called Should I Stay or Should I Go? Okay. This is 6 cards. And basically position 1 is the current state of things. Position 2 is why to stay. Position 3 is why you should go. The position 4 is how you'll feel about staying. And position 5 is how you'll feel if you leave. And then the overall advice is position 6. So let's try this one. This is kind of an interesting one. So this one is for Tisha. As an individual, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Cancer Ascendant. Wanting advice about whether or not to stay or to leave a relationship. Of course, free will is free will, so you may be already ready to take action based on the previous spread and may not need this information, but I'm recording them all at once. So one more. No, 2 more. Sorry. All right. So for position 1, Spirit, Hecate, Great Mother. What's the current situation with the relationship from Tisha's perspective? The relationship with David, Sun, Gemini, Moon, Cancer, Cancer Ascendant. From the position or the perspective of Tisha, this is for Tisha, Sun, Gemini, Moon, Gemini, Cancer Ascendant. All right, so the position, this is the relationship. You got the Empress. Hebrew letter Daleth, Venus. So you see it as love. And it looks like you feel like maybe you're in charge of it, like you're running it. So I hope you don't hate me after this. I may have it all wrong. Position 2. This is why you should stay. Position 3. This is why you should possibly go. Is there a Virgo in your life? A male Virgo that you're interested in? That one's ready to go. This is how you will feel if you stay. This one for how do I feel if I will go? How will Tisha feel if she goes? All right, and then the last one is the overall advice on what you should do. Again, this is free will. Part of me doesn't want to turn this card over for you and just to wait and see if you want to know what the card said. And I think that's what I'm going to do, so I'm going to draw it. And I'm going to make note of it. And then and if you want to know what it said, you let me know. Okay? So, it looks as though you feel like you're kind of, so it's an Empress, the Empress, it's Venus, which is about love, right? It's Daleth, which is a door, okay? So it looks as though from your perspective, the relationship is a fertile relationship. There is opportunity for love. So you have a place of importance in this relationship. Now, whether that's a place of too much importance or not, meaning are you responsible for everything? Okay? Position 2 here is why you should stay. So this is the 4 of Cups. In the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is the kid that's sitting under the tree, and he's sort of staring at these 3 cups when, the God source is providing one in the air, and he's totally ignoring it. You received the Four of Cups in reverse. So if you were to stay, this is why you should. Meaning this is you focusing rather than spreading your energy too thin. Let's see if that makes sense. Let me see if I can put it another way. There may be a tendency for you to always be seeking outside of what you currently have. I think that's a tendency for all people, but I think it's possible for you that it might have gotten you in trouble before, where you might have, I don't know if I'd say it's a wandering eye, but a lack of satisfaction in what you have. And instead of possibly working on what you have, you're actually, seeking fulfillment that's not being had in the relationship elsewhere through other things. That could be going out partying with your friends. It could be a third party in the relationship, another partner in the relationship. It could be drugs, drink, it could be anything. And I'm certainly not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying why you shouldn't do it is that you will have come over this thing where you are not satisfied with what you have, and are bored. If you stay in the relationship, you will move beyond the boredom. I think I have that right. Yeah. This is why you should go. This is the Ten of Pentacles. And this is an odd thing to get for this, but this is about legacy. Ten of Pentacles. So this is Mercury in the sign of Virgo, which is great placement. Mercury loves Virgo. It rules Virgo like it rules Gemini. And the reason why you might need to go is, I'm wondering if you may not be wanting that structure of a relationship. Is it possible that this is something that, I'm not saying you should want it, okay? Some people would rather be free. I don't care about relationships. I personally would rather be free. And maybe the reason to go is that you feel claustrophobic by this concept of the Ten of Coins, which is legacy. I mean, this is the shit that, grandparents and their grandparents show in photo albums for years and years and years, and long-term family money and things like that. And maybe that's something that doesn't sit well with you. Maybe you're more of a person, and you do have a lot of Gemini, right? So maybe you're more of a person that likes the freedom of movement, the freedom of, maybe you don't like things quite so concrete and stable. It may hinder your freedom. It may hinder your ability to grow. Everyone's got a different environment in which they flourish, and yours may not be this. You may be at a point in your life where, hearth and home is not so much what you're about. Okay. Now, if you, this was why to stay, why to go. This would be how you are feeling if you stay. So this is a Virgo card. It might feel, if you stay, as this is the slowest moving knight, by the way. Of all 4 knights in the courts, he's pretty much the one that's standing still. The rest are moving, and knights are known for movement. So it could be that this is stifling. Maybe it's moving too slowly. Maybe it lacks passion and pizzazz and fun. Maybe the fun is lost. So this could be why, there's a concern about staying. You might feel slowed down. I think I got that position right. 1, 2. Oh, I'm sorry. 3. This is, I'm so sorry. This is the relationship. This is why you should stay. This is why you should go. Yeah, this is why you should go. So I don't know if there's a Virgo in your life or someone with strong Virgo in your life that's another party, or perhaps you find the person that you're with is not very stable and you're looking for a stable man. Not just stable financially, but stable emotionally, spiritually too. So it could be that if you leave, this is what you'll be seeking and finding. Either another party that actually has these attributes already, or what you're seeking is this type of a relationship, a stable, slow-moving, calm relationship. Because that's definitely what this energy is. It's a slow-moving, calm, dependable knight. Of all the knights, he's the dependable one. That's where I got mixed up. So number 4 here is how you will feel if you stay. So back to that, you will feel as though you're part of some kind of legacy. That makes more sense, actually. If you stay, you'll feel as though you're part of some kind of family legacy. And you can see the importance of that. There's a logic to that. If you stay, you will be part of a family, and a family is a legacy. It's a structure, and you kind of like that. Well, I'm not saying you like it, but that's what will happen if you do stay. If you go, you got the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, which makes sense. If you go, it means that all that you have worked, the 7 of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite-Smith is the guy who has the hoe in his hand, and he's been cultivating these pentacles, and there's a little bush of pentacles. So it's the usual. It's building up toward the stability of the 8. He's waiting for the efforts that he's put into it to come to fruition. And if you, with this in reverse, if you go, you will never get a chance to see if those flowers bloom. Okay? So if you stay, you'll have the stability of legacy and family. If you go, although you'll have freedom, you'll never know whether the work you put in here would have actually turned out for the better. Okay, and the last one here, I'm not going to pull over. This is the final advice card, and I apologize, I got those reversed. This is the final advice card. I know what it is. I'm just going to tell you. It's the Justice card in reverse. So regardless of what decision you make, whether you stay or whether you go, you're going to feel as though there's been an injustice done. Somebody's going to, and that's the way love is, someone's going to be hurt by this. Yeah. It seems like if you stay, there's an injustice to you. I'm not saying it's you. If you stay in the relationship, there is an injustice done, whether it's to him or to you. If the relationship stays and carries on, there's some injustice that you feel. If you go, there's also some injustice that you feel. Okay? I'm going to try to get some clarification on this, okay? And for that, I'm going to do rune. This is Norse rune. So for the Justice card in reverse. Hegel. And I just want to clarify that I believe this has to do with delays and limitations. Let me just pull it up and double check myself. Yeah, limitations, delays, and forces outside of your control. So this is the outcome. It doesn't say regarding which decision you make. Whatever decision you make, there's some kind of injustice, and the injustice seems to be related to limitations, delays, and these are all due to forces outside of your control. You've got 2 major arcana. The relationship will always have this place in your head, whether you stay in it or you don't. A place of, it's been a big part of your life, you can tell. It's solid, it's fertile, it's produced beautiful fruit in the past. And the potential's there that it could continue to do that. But whatever you decide, the result may feel unjust, although everything ultimately, considering karma, really is just. And the reason it may feel unjust is because of karmic limitations. And again, Hegel reiterates the fact that this is major arcana, meaning this is going to happen one way or the other, that they are forces outside of your control. So you're going to have to ride this feeling out a little bit. I'm sorry, I wish this were a little bit more positive, but I hope it makes sense to you. I hope this clarifies things. So again, I know I messed this up. I got it reversed, but position 1 is the relationship to you. Position 2 is why you should stay. So there is a, if you stay, you're not going to feel bored. Let me put it that way. If you go, you're going to not necessarily feel bored, but you're going to feel stable. Or you're seeking something stable, or there actually is another guy out there that is stable, that's kind of your ideal. This is how you'll feel if you stay. Stability, legacy, family. This is how you'll feel if you go. You'll never know. You know, seven of coins in reverse. You'll never know if those if that work you put in would have paid off. And then the final outcome is the justice in reverse, which ultimately we know is justice, but it's going to feel unpleasant. So I'm sorry. And it is karmic, whatever it is, it has to do with karma. So it's depressing. I got comments on another video that it was a real downer. I wish I had a way to spin that, but it's love. Love can hurt because we feel so deeply. But with time, everything heals. So whatever you decide, and it looks like you've had both working it out and walking away in mind. And again, this is how things are at the energy level right now. So the full moon hasn't happened yet. You haven't had a chance to have that date. I hope you do, where you really communicate. And obviously, you both want to work on this. That's pretty obvious from the heart spread. So, okay, so I'm going to end this here because hopefully, as it relates to you, you'll have an idea of what this means. If you have questions or anything, or when you want clarification on anything, you know how to get a hold of me. And I think that's it. So, keep me posted. I hope everything's going okay. Much love. Bye.